Let's be real, nothing feels worse than spending hours on a video to upload it and then crickets. Or maybe you get a little burst of traffic at first for it to just die. It's frustrating and it honestly makes us question, is YouTube even worth it? But there is good news to this. There's a hack to getting clicks on your videos long after they're uploaded. I'm gonna show you exactly how to get more views on YouTube, even if your channel's feeling stuck right now. Let's start with the problem that most creators face. If you focus on curiosity alone, your video might get a short spike of views and then completely fall off. And if you focus on SEO alone, your video might rank, but the title feels boring and then nobody clicks. So why does this matter? Around 70% of all views actually come from suggested and browse, not search. But SEO optimized content are what bring you long-term evergreen traffic, meaning that video is gonna get more views the longer that it's up on YouTube. Here's the best way to explain this in a quote from one of our coaches here. There's always a bit of tension between writing titles for search versus writing them to spark curiosity. Since most traffic comes from browse and suggested, curiosity-driven titles tend to perform better at first. But once that initial push slows down, updating your title and thumbnail to be more SEO friendly can give the video a second life and help it show up in search for the long haul. So this leads us to hearing the same questions all of the time.
Should I optimize my YouTube videos for browse traffic or search traffic?
Which is better, curiosity or keywords?
So we know that curiosity-driven titles get the click quick but fizzle out over time, and the SEO optimized content helps the videos rank but feels generic and dry. So maybe the better question is, how do you do both? So here's the truth. Your title does have to do double duty. It has to win suggested and it has to win in search. And this is where the title flip framework comes in. For example, a sourdough recipe from ancient Egypt. It has a keyword, sourdough recipe, and it has curiosity, ancient Egypt. It can work, but mostly for big creators or really established channels that already have the authority and a little more wiggle room with a hybrid situation. For smaller creators, these results are super inconsistent, and that's why we've developed this two-phase strategy. Here's exactly how to apply the title flip framework. Here's exactly how to apply the title flip framework to your next upload. Step 1 is gonna be to draft multiple title variations. Before you even upload, have two options. A curiosity-driven title, which could sound like, is this the world's fastest sourdough recipe? And then a keyword-focused title, which could sound like a 15-minute sourdough recipe. Writing both forces you to think from both perspectives. The viewer scrolling past your video and the algorithm indexing your video. Step 2 is gonna be to lead with curiosity. When you publish your video, you wanna use the curiosity-driven title first. That's what's gonna grab the attention in browse and suggested, and where most of the early traffic is gonna come in. Think about how that viewer is gonna be so intrigued and just have to click on that video the second that it surfaces on their homepage. Step 3 is gonna be to monitor the performance, and this is where it gets tricky as a creator. Believe me, I know, just for myself, but with working with so many creators, this is the tough part. For the first 48 to 72 hours, keep an eye on your impressions, click-through rate, and watch time in studio. If the traffic holds strong, leave the title. If the traffic starts to dip or is looking a little bit low, it's time to move on to step 4. Let's put emphasis on the 72 hours though. You want to wait those 3 days. Those first 72 hours, those first 48 hours at least, is when YouTube is servicing that content to the audience that is closest to you, your absolute core audience, your casual viewers. By the time we hit that 72 hours, YouTube is starting to experiment with pushing that video a little bit further and seeing what happens. So we do want to give it that window to see what happens, so we can't rush step 4 or we completely eliminate this hack working altogether. Step 4 is gonna be where we flip to that SEO. We're gonna switch your curiosity title to your keyword-rich title. This is gonna give your video a second wave of discoverability when it comes to search traffic, which is what's ideally gonna help you get that evergreen traffic and those views just rolling in over time. So now what happens if this doesn't perform? Well, you might have the wrong keywords. And you're gonna wanna test a variation until this works. Another thing is your titles and your thumbnails have to work together. Now, we say this all the time, but it is true. Think of it like butter on our delicious bread. Dry bread is good, but it's boring. Butter on its own that's a little bit weird. But together, that's where the magic happens. So if your thumbnail shows the outcome, let your title spark the curiosity. Your thumbnail could look like a broken loaf of sourdough, while the title could sound like "This mistake ruined my bread, don't make it." And with your vidIQ extension and our new preview tool, you can see which titles and thumbnails really complement each other. You have the ability to add in multiple thumbnails here as well as multiple titles and then see which combo enhances each other more. As you can see, I like this title better with this thumbnail, and with the flattened loaf, I definitely think this one complements it more. We also need to think about if your thumbnail is a little bit more abstract or vague, the title needs to be the part that gives it clarity. You want to balance these perfectly without having them repeat each other. Your thumbnail could look like a shocked face and a loaf of bread, and the title for this might look like the one ingredient that changed everything. The goal is you want to make sure that these feel like a matching set that are not competing but really complementing each other. Let's tackle a few more questions that frequently come up in coaching here at vidIQ. Why does my YouTube title matter so much? Well, because it controls 3 things: clicks, recommendations, and retention. If your title doesn't set expectations or spark curiosity, people won't click, or they'll click and bounce, and nobody needs that. Do my titles need keywords? This is a clear yes. And I know that this can be a confusing one, so happy to clear this up. People who are scrolling past your video or seeing your video for the first time need to know what it's about. You want to think about keywords being beneficial for the viewer. YouTube knows where to put your content because of exactly what your content is, but it's the viewer who decides if that content is made for them or not. YouTube can't make somebody watch a video, so with the proper keywords, we can set the expectation for what the video is. If you just left sourdough out of every single title that we've mentioned, someone who's really into sourdough bread specifically would be significantly less interested in your content. I love that this video is made about bread. Like, I literally love bread so much. Can I change my YouTube title after publishing? Why, yes. Yes, in fact, that is the entire purpose of this video. And with the title flip framework, it gives you a little bit more guidance on when exactly you should do that. I know that when to switch a title or thumbnail is so overwhelming as a creator, because as soon as you upload that video and then you get hit with that 10 of 10, the first thing you want to do is change your title or thumbnail, because that's exactly what's going to make a difference. And while that could be true, it's so important to wait that 72-hour mark and monitor the actual performance. I'm telling you, patience is like the #1 thing right before you go into the framework. And then let's give a friendly reminder that your title is not just a headline or a last-minute decision. It's a hack to getting you more views and more views over a longer period of time. With the title flip framework, you can drive more views from browse and suggested, extend your video's life with long-term search traffic results, and build a system that you can repeat time and time again for future videos. So stop letting your videos die because of weak titles. Flip your titles, spark some curiosity, add keywords, and grow your channel. What are you waiting for? Well, besides those 72 hours, again, it is super important to wait the 48 to 72 hours. And now that you have that little tidbit of information and a new hack to try out, you're probably gonna wanna learn some other ways to increase views on your videos with, let's say, this video right here.